All right, Black Box Radio. We are in studio.
No, we're not.
Yes, we are. This is the Zoom studio. We zooming. We in studio. We zooming. We got Twin. We got G. Twin, you ready to power? I think we got to go. No, the other way. You the other way. The other arm. This way. Power up.
Well, it depends
The other
on.
arm.
Right.
Well,
it looks like we going in the same direction.
Well, see, everybody's setup is different depending on which screen you're looking at.
Okay, well, let's power up. That's right. Power up. All right, we're zooming today, and we have a special guest, but we're just gonna get acclimated before that. So, Twin, oh, you got your Yogini Noire. You got your shirt on. Honey. Your hood's good. Oh, whoa. It's like whoa over there. I see that. That's cute. That's really cute. That's what we have on the show, guys. What's that? It's Yogini. No, say it for me. You know how I'm gonna mess it up. Help me up.
Noire.
Noire. Oh.
And these are actually quite comfortable. Like, I actually wear these. Of course I'm wearing it because my girl's coming on the show, but like I actually wear these like in real life, like for real.
For real. I like it. It looks nice. I can't wait to get mine in the mail. Looks really, 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 really nice. All right, so we're going to talk about yoga and accessories and how it accentuates the life of Black people and Black women, right?
That's right.
That's the score today, right?
That's it.
And you know, yoga is breathing.
And you know what breathing does? We done talked a lot about breathing.
I'm telling you, we back in breathing again. This breathing is important.
It looks like you've lost a pound from just exhaling.
I know that's right. Let me do it again. Really? I don't know about that. I haven't worked out this week, actually. That's really strange. I do like stuff in the house, like my little back arms and stuff like that, but I haven't been on a bike. I haven't walked. I don't know. I'm really busy trying to get ready for the holiday. What have you done?
I'm so ashamed. But I have some great news.
Okay.
I want to tell it before Myeisha comes on because I really want the show to be about what she's talking about. Apparently, I applied for a grant and got it.
Excellent.
There's an organization called Movement, MOVEMEANT, and they're a nonprofit, and they really focus on the physical well-being of young girls and women, and changing the body image perception, and building up confidence and self-esteem through physical fitness. And so they gave me a grant approved me for the grant. So I announced today in my newsletter, well, it wasn't really a newsletter, but just an email, that I'm doing a giveaway. I am doing a belly therapy giveaway. I'm doing 4 giveaways, 50% off, which is really not a lot, that the person would have to pay. They would get my 6-week program, everything included, the belly binders, the video, the guidebook, everything, and the rules and stuff. You got it, so it's in your inbox.
So I can get the giveaway?
Yeah, if you follow the rules, there's some rules. There's a couple rules. You gotta invest in order to get the giveaway.
The first rule is open your email and look at it. That's the first rule.
You better know it.
That brother right there.
First rule is check your email.
Check your email. Okay.
So I just wanted to put that plug in there that I'm giving away 4 6-week individual Love Your Belly packages. And then also I spent a lot of time updating my website yesterday. So I got 30 to 50% off almost everything on my website.
Blowout. How long is that going to go for?
Yeah.
For now, it's going to go until November 30th, but I feel like I might let that ride to the end of the year.
Okay. So if you're hearing this, you might want to go. You want to put the address up right now real quick before we get our guest in? Like, say the web address real quick, and we're going to.
So the website is www.FiTTTWiNS.com.
You say I'm about to be on the belly something. Belly, what's it?
belly therapy. The belly. Oh, another great win for me this week is that the belly therapy.
I want to know what I'm winning first.
The belly therapist is officially trademarked, like it's been approved.
Beautiful. So you're the belly therapist for real. Good.
Yep.
And I get a free gift. I love this. We're having a good Friday.
Yeah, back up. You get
Friday. Huh?
Free gift.
Yeah, the free gift you said I wanted my email.
Gee, did I say that? Let's rewind that tape.
No, you didn't. And as Myeisha is she's joining right now.
Yeah, but I'm not ready. She's ready? It's 6:12, so we good. Listen, I definitely want to talk about BlaKWomeN Radio and the subscriptions. I need people to go to the website and subscribe to the website. We do this for you guys. So to get this information out, we need some participation. That means proliferation. So you guys got to participate. Go to BLaKWomeN radio.com, BlaKWomeNradio.com.
It's right down here.
Please subscribe, guys. Subscribe. Also, where they going, Twin, for you? Hit them.
www.FiTTTWiNS.com.
That's right. So
right there.
All that's down. It's down there. So you guys subscribe. Check us out. Please participate, because what we do is for the community and we want you guys to access the information. All right, so tell us who you are, what you do, what you have. Talk to us.
Sure. I am Myeisha Thompson. I'm founder of Yogini Noire. It is a yoga-inspired brand for Black women who love yoga. So I started the brand last year out of my love for yoga, and just wanted to kind of provide some cute little apparel and things like that for women, and really just begin to kind of tell our stories. A lot of Black women are still kind of afraid of yoga, but since, I'm trying to say maybe over the last 5 years or so, I've personally seen just this really big explosion of Black women and other women of color being really interested in it and not being as afraid of it, or if they were afraid of it, a lot more curious. So I started my journey about, I guess, 18, 19 years ago, and there were none of us in the room when I started. I mean, you would look around and you might see a speck here and a speck there when you went to practice, but now I see not only more of us in the room, but more of us in front of the room and teaching and instructing and leading, which has been phenomenal to see. So I really wanted to kind of celebrate that initially with some apparel and just really, you know, cute stuff that honored the look of Black women, but really now starting to focus on that education and elevation portion of it, really wanting to help educate Black women more, as well as elevate the Black women who are in the wellness entrepreneur space. So there are lots of yoga wellness entrepreneurs out there who I want to kind of use the platform to promote as well. So really pivoting towards that, but still loving all of my gear and my apparel, but wanting to do what I love to do, which is lift other people up and help share and motivate. So that's the goal of the company. But I just really, really want Black women to know that yoga is accessible, it's healing. It's not just about stretching and being flexible and all the crazy stuff you see on, you know, on Instagram and online. I can't do half that stuff, you know, but that's not all it is, you know, so really want folks to know that, and that it's accessible, and it really is for everybody.
Well, Myeisha, I took yoga for the first time. About 3 months ago.
Okay, what'd you think?
My toenails was hurting. It was hurting. My hair was hurting. My earlobes was hurting. I could not believe that breathing could do that to me. I couldn't sleep the night. I'm telling you, that night I tried to sleep every time I moved. Jesus Christ. I said, this yoga is something to this yoga. I love it now. I've done it 2 times since, but I'm almost scared of it again.
But you gotta keep going. That is what I love about it. It's the hurt so good thing that I love about it. And the other thing I really love about yoga is that, like with anything, you get to find the classes you like, you get to find the instructors you like, you got to find your vibe, right? It's like any other physical thing where you just kind of got to get in where you fit in. I love hot yoga. Like I started yoga in a hot room, and that's the way I love it. So during the pandemic, it's been really hard for me to practice at home because I can't get my apartment heated up to the point where I'm, sweating, and all that good stuff. So that's been a challenge for me, but it really is to get in where you fit in, do the stuff that works for you. I'm also not a competitive person. So that was also the other thing that really kind of attracted me, is that it's something that's, like you said, very, physical and challenging, but it's not competitive, right? It's not about beating anything or anybody. It really is about meeting you where you are and kind of battling yourself and your mind. And Lord, can I do this? Every day, it's that part of it that really keeps me there and kept me there, because it's you with you every day. And you get to some points where you're like, oh, I'm not doing this today. There are days where I lay flat out for 3 minutes at a time because it's like, I need to rest. I can't do this. This room is hot, or I've just kind of overexerted myself in whatever way. But it's you with you, and it's your own personal journey in a physical and mental way. So that's what I love about it. So I need you to keep going.
Well, I thought it was something. I work out already. I'm like, oh, this ain't gonna be anything. You just posing. I could pose. Shoot, I'm telling you.
I know that you said that it wasn't. I know you said that it wasn't competitive, but I'm pretty sure that some people, when they get started, they try to bring a competitive spirit to it. They're trying to outstretch you. They're trying to outmove you.
Yes, that's happening in the class.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you something. I mean, and that's part of you getting out of your own way, because you're in there struggling, and you see, Miss Lady next to you, out the corner of your eye, she done thrown that leg over there, and you're struggling to get your knee up, So you got to get yourself out of that, because if you're over there, you can't be here. And if you're looking at this person who, is already there, you're not going to get there. So it really does kind of train you to get out of that, because there's no way for you to do that unless you stay on your mat. But yeah, you do. You sometimes you look around, and especially when you're starting, because, the teacher might be giving you some cues and you don't quite know what to do. So you kind of got to look around to figure out exactly what you're supposed to be doing. But inherently, at least for me, it wasn't competitive, because it wore me out so bad. I had to, the only way for me to go was to focus on me.
I like it though. I can't say I don't like it. I'm taking my time.
Take your time, find what you like, find the style that you like. There's so many different styles. I mean, I do yoga in bed at night, to wind down, to stretch out, because there's so many different things that you can do that are part of the practice, that sometimes, in the morning before I get up, I can do everything I need to do right there on my bed to kind of get my body, primed and stretched and, ready to get out of the bed without, grabbing my back and all that other good stuff. I can do it while I'm still there.
Wow. I tried comedic yoga. It was nice.
Yes. I just learned that style.
So she had a fireplace, so it was warm.
Michelle, I love Michelle.
In blue.
Yes.
In blue.
Yes, in Baltimore. She's one of my faves. So Amadi, that's the place that we went to. Remember where we shot with Williams? She's talking about Michelle's place on Baltimore Street.
Nice.
Yeah. This is amazing. This one was at her house.
Point, Myeisha, about Black women being afraid of yoga.
Right.
Why do you think that is?
So what I found is, so some of it has to do with, religion, right? So, there are a lot of, Black women are in the Christian faith, and they feel like, there's something, you chanting, it's against God. What is this? Because it's misunderstood as a religion, you know, some of the non-physical aspects of it, many Black women have kind of not, and some people in church have told them this. So it's not like it's just, some of it kind of comes out of the clear sky and some of it doesn't, because they think it's Buddhism. You know, they think it's some other religion, and there's this confusion. I actually did an interview with a young lady who, Sherelle Tucker Moore, she's in Maryland, and she really has what she has coined a faith-based yoga and meditation business and practice, just for that reason, because they do work together. You know, one does not say the other is invalid. So that's a big reason that I've found in talking to Black women, is that it was a thing where they weren't quite sure religiously how it fit into their lives, not understanding that it's not a religion. And that, you know, part of it is a spiritual practice, but it's not a religion whatsoever. The second thing would be representation. You know, when, you know, Americans have a way of bringing stuff here, when it gets here, you know, whitewashing and commercializing it, you know, so you saw a lot of, you know, thin, young white women, or, you know, all of those things, and their Lululemon and all of that stuff. And it just seemed like it was something that wasn't for us. So if you weren't already introduced to it, you know, you felt like, you know, well, this isn't for us. You know, or it's woo woo, you know, like my friends would always look at me like, here she go again, you know, like now she's off in woo woo land again, you know, and all that good stuff. So it was just seen as weird. And then the third thing is that you know, there's just the common misconception is that you have to be good at it to start it. You know, and that's, you know, that's not the truth. You don't have to be flexible. You know, I went in there in a lot of pain and overweight, pregnant. That's when I started practicing as a form of physical therapy. But when I went back to it, after that, I wasn't, you know, flexible or anything like that, but that's what you're there for, to get there. So those are generally the roadblocks that I've heard, and representation being one of them, which is why when I started the company last year, you know, it was almost like a conversation starter, you know, like for a woman to see me out with my shirt on, and to say, oh, you do yoga? You know, one of those things. And it would kind of start a conversation, and I could kind of, you know, answer questions and advocate for it while I'm in the line for coffee or whatever, you know, but it was one of those things where I wanted to get the conversation started more organically than I already was. I, you know, talked about it all the time, and everybody, you know, around me knew that I loved it, but just for strangers, it became one of those things where they would see it and ask me about it, which was something that I really wanted to do, to just kind of advocate on a more organic level.
I know a big part of that is there's definitely a community aspect of yoga.
Yeah.
And in that light, I guess that's where the representation part comes in big, because if you go to a space, whether you're gonna, it seems to be something that people do together. So you need
Right.
to have a group of people who you're comfortable with, and being in that space and being vulnerable enough to try this new thing, and maybe not, you know, feel like you're not being judged and things of that nature. How difficult is it now? Like, I know, like, having classes in person with people and getting together is something that a lot of people don't have access to right now. How is it for people to try to explore these types of practices when they're sort of in isolation?
One of the things that has encouraged me over this time is just the explosion of online practices by Black and brown women and men. I mean, you go to YouTube, you go to Instagram, Facebook, you know, there's so many of them out there now. And I'm currently working to, you know, put together a directory so folks can go right to it and say, where my folks at, you know. So that's something I'm working on that'll be out next month. But to answer your question, there are hundreds now. I mean, the community has grown so much that you can go online and search Facebook, IG, YouTube. There's also a website that I found I guess it was last year, called Yoga Green Book. And it is a paid membership. I think they might give you like maybe 1 or 2 classes for free, but it is just for, it's like, you know, Green Book, but it's all black teachers. So that's something that even, you know, 7, 8 years ago wasn't even thought of. And you have people like Michelle out in the community practicing. You know, Michelle's been doing this for over 20 years, you know, so she can attest to just the leaps and the bounds of that the yoga is taken in the community. But you can practice in private now to kind of say, okay, by the time I get to this classroom, I at least know what I'm, you know, I got at least, you know, a couple things. I know what down dog and warrior 2 is by the time I step in the door, right? So they can at least do that now. And I mean, honestly, I used to tell people to do that. Like before you go to a class, even a beginner's class, because, you know, they say beginner and sometimes, you know, they assume you know stuff. So I would say go on YouTube and watch a, you know, 15-minute video just so you can kind of see what the cues mean so that you can be more comfortable. But it definitely, you know, it takes some getting used to, but I'm over the moon excited to see how many of us now are really out there sharing, showing their practices, even if they're not instructors, they're at least, you know, they're recording what they do. At home. So I love it. I can't do half of it, but I got my own flow and my own flavor, and I do what I do, and I love it. So
I don't mind it either. I don't mind that everybody's out there doing all these things.
Wow.
I don't mind.
I know what I can do. I know what I'm ready to practice to do. And you know, if I decide to stretch it, then I'll do it. But otherwise, you know, you do what feels good and what works. And that's really what it's about, is just making sure you do what honors your body and taking care of your vessel. It's so important. And I really just want, I want desperately for Black women to know just the benefits of the breath, right? Just being there. How long, how many times?
I paid her to say that.
I mean, how many times?
Who paid you to say that, Myeisha? Did you say breath?
I did.
Go. Aqua break. We gotta take that aqua break. You done said breath.
Uh-oh. Do we have a bet going?
No, where's your water? You don't have no water? You gotta bring the aqua. Oh, bring the water. That's how we do it on here. But what I want, you know, we've been talking about this breath thing has been in every time we get together, breath. It's amazing. And here we go again. Breath.
Because that's what we are. We're
I
breath.
know, but you just don't know that that's assimilates to weight loss, or, you know, you don't know that. Yes,
all of it.
And that
all of
inhale and exhale, and one is heavy and one is light. You know, you don't assimilate those.
And just to pay attention to it. That's the other thing I love, is that I know now, and even working with Amadi, you know, like training, are you holding your breath? If you really pay attention and catch yourself throughout the day of how often you hold your breath, it's insane. Like when you are on that mat struggling, you can't hold your breath. If you are, you're gonna pass out. You know, so you need to,
especially if you're doing that hot yoga.
Right, exactly.
Hold your breath and do that hot yoga.
I love
yeah.
that.
So you will hurt yourself holding your breath. You know, so you are forced to pay attention to your breath and listen. When my body tells me to stop, I stop in that room, because you will, you know, you're not gonna make it. So, but it's so important, and it takes it. You know, I use it outside. Right. So now that through that practice, I am aware of when I'm holding my breath. I know when I'm not taking a deep breath, or I know when I need to. If I'm, you know, anxious and upset and I'm, you know, my mind is racing, it's like, okay.
Breath, breathe.
Time out.
Yeah.
And all it takes.
Yeah. Because working with a lot of women, I realized, actually, even before doing what I do, I was considered a shallow breather. Like I was up here. And I mean, I know my lungs aren't up here, but it didn't really connect until I started seeing other people breathing up here, and their first.
But I don't know what that means.
Breathing
up here.
Shoulders up. And so they're like they're chest breathers. And I'm like, why? Like, Yeah, and then I, took it a step further, and I'm like, let me see you breathe. Like, how do you naturally breathe? Which way does your stomach go out when you inhale, exhale, and which way does it go in? And it was like none of these Black women were breathing. They were holding their breath partially or the whole time, and then eventually they would start gasping for air, or they were breathing in the reverse. So imagine breathing in the reverse and holding your breath and having your shoulders, that's like high stress situation right there. That's
and
just
you're not letting it go.
I'm just talking about the oxygen intake. I'm not even talking about all these other factors.
But you gotta explain that. What is breathing up here? Who breathes here?
Most people.
Help me out. How do you breathe in your shoulders?
So when you breathe and you don't, you'd be surprised how many people do this. It's instead of your belly going in and out, their shoulders go in and out.
Really?
I mean, just think about a huff and a puff when you are exasperated. Right? Like that's what you do. Like
She's trying it out.
You've done it when somebody is on your last nerve and you huffing and puffing, imagine that, but that's just your mode of operation. Like you're just doing that.
That's amazing, breathing up here. That's amazing. Okay.
You would be surprised how many people do it, and or the breathing backwards where you're not expanding your belly, you're pulling it in to take an intake, and that's backwards.
I mean, how many deep breaths are you? And I don't necessarily mean deep, but like how many full, that's a better word. How many full breaths have you had since we started the recording?
Not many.
Yeah, because you've been rolling, yo.
I don't think a full breath has come out of there yet.
It hasn't. I'm passionate. Y'all got me talking about something I love. I would keep running my mouth.
Breaths.
Oh.
But I've noticed this is interesting, and actually I wanted to ask for those who do yoga here, if you find yourself like upside down. Let me rephrase that. When I find myself upside down, whether it's a headstand or a handstand, even if for a brief moment, I realize that I hold my breath completely. I don't know if it's anticipation of making sure my feet hit the ground again. I don't know if it's, I want to protect my neck. I'm not sure what that is, but does anybody relate or understand why that happens? Like I literally hold my breath if I'm upside down.
I can't remember the last time I was upside down. So
you just explained why. That's why. You're thinking about what could go wrong or what needs to happen. So that is why it happens. Like it's one of those things where you're anticipating or you're anxious and you know how that makes your breathing shallow, right? Because you're anxious about something, so you stop. So, and that was hard for me when I first even with the forward fold sometimes.
There's all these like handstand poses. So I guess you just got to get really comfortable in that position so that you can relax in that position, yep. And then you can.
Well, sometimes I like to do handstands because it strengthens my wrists, and it's actually
I can't do those.
Well, you're right. I will never be upside down. I'm good.
And I like to do headstands because it strengthens my neck, but more importantly, it's actually very healthy in terms of the blood circulation for your feet to be above your head. So every once in a while, I'll do, just play around with the boys or just do it myself. I'll do a headstand or a cartwheel, or I'll do something so I'm upside down.
Got it. I won't have those issues. That won't ever happen over here.
He's like, why are you upside down?
Yeah, who is upside down? At my age, you don't do headstands.
And see, that's why I do them. That's
stay on these feet, honey.
Because I don't want to say that anytime soon. I don't want to say, oh, I'm too old to do this, or I don't want to say that anytime soon. I really don't.
Well, let me say it for you. At my age,
well,
you stay
like on I said. And the other thing I love about yoga is that the benefits of one thing are usually achievable in another position, right? So the blood flow is achievable with your legs up a wall. So you scoot your butt up and put your legs up a wall, and it's the same as an inversion, right?
Well,
so
you get your VIP. Thank you. Stay a while.
you get the same benefits, right?
Thank you,
Like if
sweetie.
you,
Loving you from Baltimore, Maryland. Loving that.
it's another way to do that.
I love that. I love that. So I can do butt stands. Now, I can do
That's
that.
it.
Real
That's
talk.
all you gotta do.
I can do
Put
that.
your legs up a wall.
So let me ask a question. So are you from Baltimore originally?
Born and raised, Baltimore girl.
Where?
Yes.
Where? Rep Baltimore. Where in Baltimore? Talk to me.
West Baltimore, Lockhern. I went to elementary and middle school out in Pikesville, and went to high school in Western, and went to school in DC and Baltimore. Yeah.
You're
born and raised.
Okay. All right. So
yes,
now you're in
home.
Arizona. Okay.
I am empty nesting. My son is in college and I am single, and I had absolutely zero reason not to come to the sunshine. So, but I came here in particular because my best friend has been here for 19 years. So I've been visiting for years. So it's just nice to have a change of pace and, you know, be near the bestie and be able to go down the street and have lunch and take a walk and all that good stuff, since we've been, you know, living separately for so many years. But it's just a nice change of pace. I love it.
You love it? Okay. You miss this cold weather and these bullets?
No. I miss Black people. I do.
that was next.
I do. I miss
Black people. 14 Black people in Arizona. 14.
13, because you know the other one mixed. So you know, it's like, you wondering.
Are you in anywhere near the Phoenix area? Because I know,
he's in Phoenix.
I'm in Phoenix. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I live probably, I guess, maybe 15 minutes from Arizona State. So ASU. I'm about 15 minutes from there.
Okay. I lived in Arizona for a couple years.
Oh, okay. So you know what I'm talking about then.
Well, I was down at Fort Huachuca. So
okay.
That dry heat out there.
Yeah, it is. It literally, the summer felt like when I would walk outside, it would feel like at 9 o'clock in the morning, like you open the oven door, and it's just not even an exaggeration. You walk out, you feel like you opened it, like you getting food out the oven. It's brutal in the summertime. Those 3 months are hard, but then you get to wear flip-flops for Thanksgiving. So, you know, it's the trade-off.
So like now, Myeisha.
What'd you say?
What's the temperature like now?
Today it is, I think it was around 84 today for the high.
Oh, wow. Really, Myeisha? Really?
Yeah.
I'm going to say that.
84 for the high. It'll be, I think it'll be in the 70s starting soon.
Oh, wow.
It's going to cool down.
Wow. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Wow.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I can see why you could make that move.
I love it. I don't know how long I'm going to be here. Like I said, I miss my people. I do. It's hard.
Well, that's what I mean. How do you negotiate? Because you said you're doing this for, you know, you want Black people, Black women and Black people to be more aware of yoga. And then you moved to White City.
I did. But thanks to the wonders of technology,
ooh,
you know, I get to share, and I get to, you know, help people that way. And, you know, when the world opens back up and I can move around a little bit, you know, I plan on doing that. But technology is just an amazing platform for people to get together and to learn. And I mean, that's how I learned about so many Black women, just on Facebook groups and all that stuff. I didn't know until maybe 2 years ago, when I really, you know, when I started seeing it in person more, like in my classes and things like that. And then when I started, you know, just kind of poking around online, and I found some online communities of Black women yogis. So that's how I learned about it. So that's how I've been able over the last, you know, few months to negotiate not being able to be around Black people to advocate for it. But
this is your Black Friday night, right? So,
yeah, we filling you up. We pouring into you right now.
Oh,
we pouring into you right now.
You know, I need it. I need it. Because after this craziness of an election and being out here with, you know, all this craziness, I need it. I do.
In Arizona. Ooh. Trump.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, I literally took my earbuds to vote, because I was like, I don't want to hear no craziness. I don't want nobody trying to talk crazy. I just needed to shut it out. Yeah,
Wow.
because it's deep. It's deep. They deep.
Very deep. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's something else.
I'm gonna live vicariously through you. We're gonna stay in Black Baltimore. But I love it. I'm glad that you have ventured into another world. So that's
technology keeps me grounded.
Yeah.
And I've met some Black yogis out here too. So my best friend practices as well. So she and I are able to, bond in that way and go, although she goes to a studio. It's so hot in there. Like, I thought where I was used to practicing was hot. Because the heat is dry here, they then add humidity to the room.
Wow.
So, talking about getting back to yourself and trying to feel like you're not comparing yourself, I would be in there laying down. Like, I might as well just been in the sauna for the first few times because I couldn't handle it. And then I said, okay, you start your self-talk. Okay, what are you going to do? How does this look? Breathe, stop when you need to stop, move when you need to move. Don't leave the room, because if you leave the room and cool yourself down too much, you're starting over again. Right. So just like, okay, here's a new challenge. And modifications are huge. So I remember working out with you, Marty, and you were always, God bless her, when she met me, I was all broken up and all that other good stuff. And knowing when to modify and not push yourself through it is huge. Being able to say, okay, I can't do this, but I can do this. And this is building me up to do the other thing. And you have to be willing to just kind of do that and say, okay, I couldn't even touch the floor with my fingertips 2 weeks ago. And now I can put my hand flat on the floor. So, it's little movements that you can say, okay, I can see the progress, and I can, now I can do these things that I couldn't do 2 weeks ago or a month ago. So that's the practice part of it, the physical part of it. And the mental part of it is staying the course like anything else and breathing through it.
Okay.
And I want my Black women to feel it and know that if you a little extra fluffy like me, you can still do it. And or a lot of extra fluffy, it don't matter. Get in there and move your body.
Well,
it'll
Black
work.
women gonna be there. It's gonna be some fluff, sis.
So
we come in the door with the fluff. You know it.
So that word fluff, for some reason, reminded me of a GIF. I put a lot of GIFs in my newsletter, and there's a GIF that I put in the last newsletter of a woman that looks like she's about to do a yoga pose. And I'm bringing this up because Myeisha was featured in the newsletter, and she talked about, what did she talk about? I wanted you to talk about that because I think that might be the origin or part of why you started practicing yoga in the first place. And I think a lot of people could benefit from that information.
Absolutely. So like I mentioned earlier, I started yoga about 18 years ago when I was pregnant. I was in pain, sciatica. I didn't know what was going on. I was 25. I had never 24, 25, and I never experienced any pain like that. And I couldn't even understand it. And my doctor told me to go. So I went a couple times. It felt okay, but I just really wasn't into it. I was miserable and, wanted to complain. So that's just what we did until it was over with. And then I think maybe a year or so after that, in 2003, I went back and I enjoyed it. I loved it. It was hot and it just, it motivated me. But it was just exercise. Right. So it was just one of those things where I went in, it was a great workout. It's hot. I'm learning how to do these things. And it felt good. And again, it kind of suited my non-competitive spirit. Like I can compete with myself in peace and really kind of see the progress. And I loved it. But it was still really physical and I hadn't gotten into the spiritual parts of it or any of the meditations in any real way. And then a few years ago in 2016, I had back pain revisit me again, but this time it was debilitating. I mean, I got out of my car. I'll never forget it. I was out with my friends and I stepped out of my car, my knees buckled and I almost fell. Like I could not, it hurt terribly. I couldn't stand up. It was awful. And after a few weeks, I just, I couldn't figure anything out. And long story short, about a year later, I ended up, after some other non-surgical interventions, going to yoga. It didn't really help. I was frustrated, and I ended up having lower back surgery in 2017 to help with the pain. And it was really hard on me because, a 30-something-year-old having back surgery, I'm like, this doesn't feel, quite right. I'm too young for this. I don't want to, go through my life with this kind of pain at 30-something years old. And unfortunately, the surgery only solved part of the problem. So I was still in considerable amount of pain. So one of the things that I did was when I went back to yoga, it was a switch that flipped for me. It became one of those things where I need to prove to myself that my body is still okay. And I know how to do this in a way that's gentle. It doesn't have to be me competing with me. It can be me listening to me and learning how to listen to my body and know when to back off and know how to heal it. So that's really when I started taking it in another direction and not just looking at it as exercise, but really kind of getting into the meditative practices, the teachings of loving kindness and compassion towards yourself first, so that I can be in my body and feel good about it, because I was still in pain. And I'm like, well, I'm not having any more surgeries and I'm not going to be popping a bunch of pills. So now what? So I had to kind of find that other place in yoga. And then not too long after that, in 2017, when I still wasn't well, I found out that I had an autoimmune condition and fibromyalgia. So we're just going to throw some more stuff on top of back pain. The back pain was really just kind of a canary in a coal mine type of situation where it was the first thing that went wrong. And again, going back to yoga was a place where I learned to really listen and feel my body and not just look at it as exercise, but to look at it as something to take my own internal pulse and heal myself in a way that I wasn't going to get just looking at it as exercise. So that's really, people ask me how long I've been practicing. Technically, almost 18 years, but I really don't feel like I really truly got into the practice until about 4 or 5 years ago, where I really was able to say, okay, this is more than exercise. What do you need this to be to help heal you and move you? And that was what kind of lit my fire to share with other Black women, because with so many health issues in our community, it really is a great way to kind of tap into your body, learn how to be nice to yourself about it. Loving kindness and compassion is huge. Teaching with the yoga practice, knowing when to push, knowing when to surrender, those sorts of things. And those are the things you need to take outside when you're dealing with physical chronic illnesses. And when you're not looking at any medical intervention, which I'm not, you need to figure out how to heal yourself. And that also led into other things. Okay, so now I'm thinking about, well, maybe I shouldn't be eating that. So all of those things started me down a path of really wanting to heal myself naturally. And all of that kind of process started with opening up in yoga, and wanting to learn more about natural healing. It all started right there. So I like to just share that, because it doesn't have to be this big automatic switch. Now I'm so healthy. It's a practice and it's a journey, and I'm still on it, but I really want my sisters to know that it's doable, and that it's worth it. It is worth it when you can get up and not feel pain, or at least feel a little less pain. Or when you do feel pain, you know how to breathe through it and know it's going to pass. So all of those things that just kind of come with it are invaluable, and I want them to know about it.
So you're going to make me share. Because guess what?
Share it. I'm telling you.
I'm telling you, 'cause Black women need to know this.
They need to know.
I went to yoga because of the Black girl dip.
I hadn't heard of that.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know. Well, a lot of people don't because everybody don't have it. Black girls have it, where between our lower back and our butt, we go in. We
yeah. Oh, I got that. That's
Black
part
girl
of why my back hurt.
Yeah, and it's you know, I'm not saying other people don't have it, but Black women, of course, because we got that marshmallow, that dung dang.
Mm-hmm.
So that Black girl dip was killing me. That's totally what it is. I didn't really have a lot of issues. I couldn't figure out. I'm working out. And I couldn't figure out why I was hurting. And I talked to my physical therapist about it, and he told me that maybe it was my mattress, because I love the soft mattress, and I've been sleeping on that all these years. But he was like, you probably should change that mattress. And then I interviewed M. Blue. And she said, girl, don't go to no chiropractor. You need to come to yoga. And I went to yoga, and I swear my toenails hurt. My ears hurt, but that Black girl dip is good.
That story, huh?
Yes, I have not. That Black girl dip has, I don't know, it's not healed, but it does not hurt. I don't have that chronic pain that I had.
Right.
And it's because I've stretched it out. And I know a lot of Black women go through that because it's just the way we're made, you know.
Yeah.
And the doctor said, he said, that's just how you're made, you know. And he said it actually is a blessing and a curse. Because after you get a little older and you've been carrying the baggage for years, it's the truth. Your lower back hurts.
Yeah.
And so for women who have a little butt and a smaller type of waist, that dip will hurt at some point. Not everyone, but mine was hurting.
Yeah, it's a thing. I mean, and I really do. I want Black women to know that just because you have that doesn't mean you can't walk up in that room. You know, oftentimes they see the smaller frames and the thin women, and you can still go. I mean, I remember distinctly. So I think it was maybe 2017 after I'd had my back surgery, and I was in the room. I used to practice with one of my favorite Black instructors, and that room was so hot. And I just thought to myself, I can't do this, but I was still very self-conscious about, weight and myself, even after all these years. And I took my shirt off. I'm like, it's hot. Either this shirt goes, but I go, or I go, one or the other, and that was like, I look back at that, and it's so crazy because I sat there and fought with myself because I didn't know I was still in that mental space where I was still even thinking about it, but I was uncomfortable and I was kind of fighting through it, and my shirt was just sticking to me, and it was a distraction. And I'm like, this thing has to go. And even, after all of those years, that was a big deal for me because I'm letting my fat fly at this point because, it's not about that, right? It's about what I'm in there to do, and it's about what I'm trying to accomplish and how I'm trying to feel. It's not about let my tummy out, and being, self-conscious about that when I look around the room. And, that was, again, it was something for me that was, I didn't know it was still there, but it was still there, so just because you feel it doesn't mean you can't get past it. And it's worth working past it because now it helps me be a little bit more confident just in general, right? Like if I'm in there stripped down in front of, 20 people, it's like, well, at least I can, feel a little bit more confident when I'm not in that hot room with clothes on. So it just kind of translates.
And even, even the small girls got a Black girl dip. So, with us, we got to dip regardless. So you can go into yoga because you're going to hurt. I'm telling you. So go to yoga. So you also have apparel. So
I do.
Was your first thing? You said you created that first, or you created the company?
I did.
Okay.
So I started with just the t-shirts, right? Just something that, because I'm a writer and a marketer by trade, so a t-shirt store was something that I knew I could kind of figure out easily. It wasn't something that I needed to do any real extensive research on. I can figure it out. And it was one of those things where it went far better than I anticipated. I didn't make a whole ton of money because I didn't really run at it real hard, but just the reception was great. And I didn't really anticipate it. So when I moved, I kind of, stopped marketing, was selling kind of here and there passively, people found me however they found me. And then when, I was planning on relaunching, and then the pandemic came, and that kind of threw me off a little bit. And, it kind of turned out to be a blessing, because I'm like, well, as I'm kind of retooling the store, about to, start selling stuff again, I'm thinking to myself, well, shirts are cool, but what else can I do? Like I'm in these groups with these Black women, and I keep hearing, hey, anybody know where I can find a class online with a Black woman? Or anybody know where I can find a book about, energy healing by Black women? Or, just all of these questions. Where can I find? Where can I find? And I thought to myself, well, that's how you're going to help. You're going to pull it all together, so that it's not a question of where can we find, that's, I'm a researcher. I like to do stuff like that. So it's like, okay, well, you get to research and pull it all together in one place. So that's what I'm doing now, in addition to the t-shirts, again, because I just think that they're so cute. And I love the conversation starters, that just, for me, that does it. It's like when it was like, it's like the Black man head nod when you see each other, it's one of those things. If you out, you see the shirt, it's like, yeah, I practice, you practice, so you get the little head nod, which I love.
She pulled a hoodie up. I'm jealous. I'm like, that's that's fly. And listen, I saw that Queen Joan on there. I said, okay.
That's the one I sent you.
Right. I said, wow, look at that.
Can we say the name of the brand real quick again?
That's fly.
Sure, it's Yogini Noire. So that's YoGini.com. And, the education part, like I said, the education and the information part is what's kicking off next. But, the shirts are accessible, even when you're in the house. I love to see my sisters online. They post and they do all kinds of, beautiful practices that they share online. And we still get dressed when we're in the house practicing, or when we're outside practicing. So
at least from up here.
Exactly. Right. Exactly.
We don't know what's going on anywhere below here.
Don't even talk about that.
It's questionable.
Rolling rough earlier. Yes, sir.
It's questionable, but the shirts, mugs, novelties, we have some journals coming out. So, your standard kind of accessory fare and things like that. But I really want to get more focused on the advocacy part, because I think we need it. We do. We need to know that it's accessible. And I want to be able to bring all of the information together and share. So it's not a thing where, you got to ask 7 people, where can I find? You can just go to one place and search and, come up with 50 women who practice and find your groove. So, I was lucky. I met Michelle through another Black male instructor in Baltimore. And I was just so happy to find her, because it's just, it was one of those things where, she gets it. And you don't even know you want it until you get it, type of situations. And that's just a beautiful thing. And I want more of our sisters to really enjoy that, and to see themselves, lots of, plus size teachers as well, which I love, is they're doing their thing, and they make it okay, which I love.
You're giving the big girls a lot of love. Sure, I love the big girls. Listen, I was a big girl.
When I
talk about the big girl, give us some love. I love it. We need
it, because you think you can't do that stuff, and you can. And the more you do it, the better you get.
That's true. Who did you design that logo? That's fly. That black. That looks like me sitting up there.
Thank
Put
you.
me on your shirt. Is that me on your logo? I love that. Who did that?
So initially, you know, I'm very minimalist and everything is black and white. And, you know, I was like, no, we need to give her a little crown. You know, it's her hair, but it's her crown.
Yeah, I like that.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's really nice. Really.
So
really
I'm excited about all of it, and I'm thrilled that Amadi invited me. She's been pushing me like, what are you doing? Like,
that's what she did to me.
You know, like what's going on? Yes. What is going on? I know you're doing 5 other things, like, but what is this?
Yeah, yes. She's a coach.
Absolutely, I love it. I'm so grateful. I'm so very grateful. She's also my fit model. So when you go to my website, she is the person in all of my my pictures. Not all of them, but the ones, the merchandise pictures. So she's also an excellent fit model, which I love.
Come on, twin.
Well, I also need to big up Myeisha because she's my director of strategic marketing.
Oh, okay. Well, damn it. You know, I'm getting ready to get into the circle now. This got to be a triad. Something's going on. You know, we got to do some marketing.
She tells me to do, because I know if I come back to her and it's not done, it's going to be a problem. So
you better know it. You better know it. I get homework all the time. You better
all of the time.
All the time. Wow. So you said that you might not be in Arizona long. So does that mean you're gonna come back to Baltimore, or are you gonna go?
I don't know.
Okay.
I got married young. I was 20 when I got married. Wow. And I had my son when I was 24, 25, about to turn 25. And I spent a lot of time just kind of sitting still when I wanted to move around. So now that I have the opportunity,
Stella gonna get a groove back.
Yes, Stella. Ready to go.
Yeah, Stella got to get a groove back. I dig it.
You know, I don't know what this thing gonna look like, but I'm open. I'm open to the possibilities. You know, I do love the West Coast, but
you said
I'm open.
She gotta go to a beach somewhere. She gotta find Dexter. Wasn't that she gotta go to the island somewhere.
You froze.
That's because he's about to say something smart.
Yeah, he's about to say something smart.
The technology saved you. I had something for you. I was coming for you, but it froze up, so I'm just gonna take that as a sign to let it go.
See?
So you're saying, you're doing the apparel, education, advocacy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And I mean, I like to bring people together and showcase other people, you know, so it really is my goal to uplift and kind of put in front the women who are doing the work. You know, I don't want to teach. I don't want to, do any of that, but there's so many women out there doing amazing work in the yoga and wellness space. You know, as an entrepreneur, I really want to also provide a space for that wellness entrepreneurship, because it's a multi-billion-dollar industry that we are getting pennies.
Wow.
Hear me when I say pennies of. And there's too many of us out here doing the work for that to happen. So I think that, we need to build platforms for that, for us to get bigger parts of this growing industry and have it look more like, the people who are in it.
Yeah.
So those are the things that I'm looking for. Part of my slogan is celebrate, educate, and elevate, so the educate and elevate is where we're coming. The shirts and the apparel are the celebration and the images of us, and the educate and elevate are really where we need to go and really be able to say, okay, this is our space too. And this is us in this industry. So I really want to see a lot more of that, and hopefully be able to facilitate that with my, with other skills that I have, and using this as a platform. So I'm excited about it. I don't want us to keep missing out on the money that's there and that's being spent in the space when we are out here doing the work as well. So that's really important to me.
That's some. I just found. It came across my feed here. A Black lawyer. She's doing yoga by the water, outside, and it's amazing. Her pictures. She liked one of my pictures, and I went and saw. She has classes at Port Covington. I don't know if you know what that is.
Yep, I do. Yep.
Yeah. She has classes outside on the lawn. She had like 50 Black women. It was amazing. But see, those type of classes are so bougie. You got to look good. See, I look a mess.
You don't.
I'm just
you better roll up in there, look at how you want to look.
Oh, you know I'm gonna roll up in there and box it out, but I'm just saying. Those ladies, they got the matching yoga stuff. I'm not into all of that. So, but it's really nice. I mean, being beside the water, real peaceful. It's her and a guy. They're doing it together. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
And those, I mean, I think that if there are 50 people out there, there should probably be 100. Like that's kind of the way I feel about it. Like there are so many of us looking for it and looking to even just try it in a safe space, where you don't feel like you're being judged, where you don't feel like people are looking at you, where you can ask the questions and all of that. So that is really what I'm hoping to achieve moving forward. But the apparel is cute, it's affordable. I like it. I like to mix it up and put it on with other stuff. So, it's not just for yoga.
Do you have anything?
You can wear it out.
It's certainly for Netflix and chill because I wear this joint like.
Do you have
like, it's comfortable.
It looks comfortable. I'm trying to get that. So don't lay it down.
It's on the way.
Let me ask you, do you have apparel for men or it's all for women?
I don't. Right now, it's just women. I wanted to kind of, for right now, I get it. That's it. I couldn't, figure out how to serve both parts of our community at once. So I started out here and, God willing, we'll see where that goes. But I love to see our men practicing as well. Yeah. I took my son a few times and, he looked at me like he wanted to cuss me out a couple times. And then I found him, trying to impress a young lady. So I'm, I do yoga too. I'm like, now you do yoga. Yeah. He does it, now you do it, so.
Well, there's a prominent Black male here, Changa Bell. I don't know if you know him, but he does yoga, and he actually created the Black Male Yoga Initiative where he's pushing yoga for Black men and even their sons. Yeah. And he's done a lot of work. He's had his own studio. I think he, private and like.
I contacted him to interview him. Yes.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's like, I've even paid him for private sessions. He's awesome.
Oh, wow. Oh, you know him?
He's a fellow Gemini. He's like my true twin because he's a Gemini like me.
Yeah. Well, that's good. We got to have a little talk because I contacted him.
Yeah, him and his wife are very, very nice.
Oh, wow. Amazing.
Yeah. But I love to see our men practice because it historically it is a male practice. It was not initially meant for women. So I love to see our men show up and show out.
Really? Well, I know the classes I was in, they had their shirts off. I was like, okay. Yoga is looking real good these days. They have it's the lines that the men have from posing. It's amazing.
It's beautiful. It is. It is.
They look really fit. So it's something nice to see. I'm like, wow, just to see how a man's body, to see it like that, and it's not intimate or anything. Just to see a Black man's body. The reason I went was because it was a Black teacher. That's across the board. I don't think I would have ever tried it because
she's amazing.
Yeah, that is the reason.
And that happens, right? What you just said. Like I wouldn't have tried if it weren't a Black teacher. Like, and that's what I want to solve for, that issue. I would try it, but let's solve for that. Let's fix that because there are so many amazing Black instructors out here now. All across the country. My cousin is an instructor. She and her husband just moved to Hawaii, but she was based in LA. And she's phenomenal. She's a little younger than me, but she was a college athlete, you know, so she's able to kind of bring those practices and connect with, you know, former athletes and things of that nature. So there really are all kinds of paths to the practice. And we, just like everybody else, have our different stories, and you can connect and relate on that level to get you to practice and to say it's okay. You know, I rep for the big girls, but but
Yes, you do.
you know, but everybody has a story that somebody can relate to, and how they got there.
Wow. Yoga has come out of nowhere. I never knew that, you know, I heard about it years ago. I never knew it would be so prominent. It's like come out of nowhere. Everyone's talking about it. Yoga, 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 you know?
And you know, it kind of upsets me a little bit when I hear people talk about it in such a commercialized way, I guess because it's just so near and dear to my heart from another place.
Okay.
Where it's, you know, it's this badge of honor type of situation. Like, oh, I do yoga. It's like, okay, and you know, like I peeled potatoes yesterday, and you know, so that elitist thing drives me nuts. So, you know, that
athletes, football players, I do yoga. It makes me, you know, I hear it all the time, you know. So it's like
definitely become more mainstream. So that's good. But you can, you know, miss me with all the elitist, you know, craziness that's out here now. And like you said, you got to match all your clothes and all of that. Get out of here. Like that part of it makes
doing that.
Me
we're working out. You know, athleisure wear is the thing now. You know, everyone's working out cute, but me.
Yeah, too.
You know, yeah. But me. Whatever I don't like goes to the gym.
No.
I look a mess. Let me tell you, I saw a guy that I went to the gym with, and he saw me. He was like, "That's you." He was like, "That's how."
Tell him like I tell him. You clean up.
Like, I wouldn't have known that was you. He said he knew me by my smile. I said, "Oh, that's funny," but that's how bad it is. Whatever I don't like, it goes to this. So I always see these people coordinated. I'm like, wow, I can't do that.
I don't feel good when you go coordinated. You know,
I think spending money to sweat in it. I don't know if that makes sense to me. I mean, so.
Well, see, you don't have to worry about coordinating. Just get yourself some Yogini Noire gear.
Mine is coming. I can't wait.
Yes, you have your queen shirt coming.
Well, some fitness wear it's functional in the sense that if it's moisture wicking, you're actually more comfortable in it. So you know, some of it, yeah, it looks good, but there is some functionality in the material and everything like that. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. You know, well, that technology I won't access. But I hear you, bro. I hear you, but it's all good. It's all good. So, so what's next for? I don't want to say your company wrong because
Yogini Noire.
Yogini Noire.
Noire. Yes, BLaKWomeN yoga. Okay. Yes.
So what do you see the addition? I can hear like the male line, or what do you see you going next?
Well, right now I'm just I want to focus on, of course, kind of solidifying the apparel side of it. But what's next is like I said, the education and the elevation. So really kind of solidifying the Yogini Noire directory, which I'll be launching soon. And it'll be a searchable directory, you know, so like an online yellow pages for Black female yogis. So you'll be able to find a certified instructor, or, you know, if you don't need a certified instructor, you'll be able to find an instructor of who's not certified, but that you want to follow, you know, all of that stuff, as well as products and other services. So that's what's next, really. You know, if you sell waist beads, which is something that, you know, a lot of Black women like to wear when they're practicing or not, you know, you'll be able to sign up and be listed on the directory. So all of those things are really what I want to focus on, is that advocacy and the elevation, and really kind of bringing those things together so that, number one, it's easier to find, and it's also easier to find other products and services that are related, and, you know, women who practice yoga generally are looking for.
That's what I wanted to say, because when I went to everybody got waist beads. What is that? That makes you stretch better? What is this?
I don't know. That
What
beats
is
me.
it?
They just cute.
What is that?
So-
You wear them too, Dean.
Yeah, so waist beads are tradition of West African women, and they are a sign of beauty. They're for aesthetics, but they also actually help regulate weight gain and weight loss. So if you gain weight, the beads rise up, and if you lose weight, they drop down.
Oh, I
So
gotta get some
a
beads.
sign of keeping your weight in check.
Oh, I got to
If
get
you go a little deeper, there are meanings behind the colors of the beads.
Oh,
It could be tribe related. It could be what your intentions are. It could be, what your emotional state. I don't know. There's so many different meanings behind some of the colors. Sankofa, just to big them up, because they're a local Black-owned business here in Baltimore. They sell waist beads, probably the cheapest in the area. It's like $6 on up to like 20 for a string of waist beads. I actually bought some from them a couple weeks ago.
do they fit them to you, or you? How does it bought?
She can fit them to you, or you can tie them on yourself.
All right.
Yeah.
I always wondered about that. I thought it was nice looking, but I wondered.
Oh, and traditionally, and I guess I should also say this, they're not to be shown. They're not to be worn over top of your clothing, because they're actually considered like underwear. So it's like a private thing. Your partner or maybe your children will see it in the home, but so in a more contemporary setting, you'll have someone that's a little younger, that's American, or not from a traditional West African country, and they'll wear like a half shirt, and then you can see the waist beads. So those are the more contemporary ways of wearing it, but traditionally you don't show the waist beads.
So they got their drawers on outside.
I love
Right. It's like Tay showing his underwear because he ain't got no belt on.
Oh, and I see waist beads out all the time. Okay.
All of the time. Well,
all
thank
the
you for that education, because I didn't know.
Balls out too. Okay.
Myeisha was all out of order.
And I personally am not saying that if you do show your waist beads that it's right or it's wrong. It's just not the customary practice. It's
just a little ratchet.
I get it.
Well, they all out here doing it now. But I didn't know. I don't wear them. I think they're beautiful. I see a lot of women online practicing with them. But yeah, I just want people to be able to, sell whatever they sell that's kind of related to, the audience and the demographic. If you, Amadi's leggings, I have folks who I know who sell meditation candles, so all of those things that are, related, even in some tangential way, will be able to get listed and sell.
Okay, and you said just Black women, so it's gonna only be Black women.
Women of color, so women of other,
yogis.
Not yet. We starting with.
Listen, stay Black woman. That's what's up. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
I really want to kind of start there. And like I said, we'll see how it goes. I'm all about kind of starting small and working out the kinks, and then growing.
That's what Drake said, right? Started from the bottom.
I don't know what he said.
Started from the bottom. Now we here.
I don't know about just people of color or women of color, but it's all good. But Black women, we need.
I love it.
I love it. So
I do. I want us to be able to, like I said, get a piece of what's out there, because it's out there. It's multi-billion-dollar industry, and we don't know it because we don't know that we're out here doing the work. Or you might see 2, but it's 20,000 in reality. So I want as many. I want to be able to kind of bring together this online phone book of sorts, this digital phone book where you can come and find them,
especially all over the country. That's amazing. That's amazing.
And if in your education you can somehow convey, whether through emails or posting on social media or blogs, you know, the importance of yoga, because sometimes you have to meet people where they are, because they'll be like, oh yeah, that's hocus pocus, like you said, the religion thing, or, you know, and so in just dealing with the services that I offer, like a lot of people don't understand even how to pronounce some of the words of, you know, the condition. And so
Right.
that kind of, they just kind of gloss over like, well, is that Latin, you know? And
Right.
so my point is, like, if in educating Black women specifically about the importance of yoga, you know, a lot of us have desk jobs, whether we're at home or in the office. And so our hips start to get not only tight, they start to get weak.
Right.
Our core starts to get weak. And we're still trying to put all of these physical demands, even if it's just to get up and stretch. You know, as we get older, we're like, oh, wait a minute. You know, like you said, you kind of buckled a little bit.
Right.
And so as we get older and then the temperature drops, you know, whether you have injuries or not, I have an injury and I know that when it gets cold and I don't stretch, I have to limp. I limp literally out of the bed. It doesn't hurt. I'm just stiff from the arthritis.
Right.
And it makes a world of difference when I stretch on a consistent basis. You know, I don't quote unquote feel my age. And so if somehow in the education, in the message, you know, Black women, hey, if you have you know, a sit down job, or if you're, you know, not stretching or moving as much as you used to, or you know, you have a hectic lifestyle and you're stressed, the breathing part definitely can help with that. But and then there's also a strengthening component. You know, a lot of people don't, and that's probably why you were saying your eyeballs hurt and your teeth hurt and like all these things are hurting. That's the strength part of it. You know, holding a pose, that's an isometric exercise, you know, just crossing over the physical fitness with the yoga. It's strength building, especially the core, which is from the chest all the way down to above the knees. And yoga does so much of that, you know, and so, you know, if we just, you know, yoga is great, and, you know, it is for those that get it. But for those that we really got to figure out a way how to like meet them where they are.
And the information is out there. So that's really why, like, I'm not recreating the wheel. I won't be writing any long dissertations or books or anything. All I have to do is bring it together, you know, so that's why I'm so excited, because it's out there. You know, the information is there now. You have, you know, lots of Black women writing about it. They're teaching it. We just don't know about it because it's, you know, scattered about. So that's really what I want to do, is kind of bring it all together and make it accessible. And to your point, and make it part of everyday life, and really kind of understanding how much your body, how much you can learn from your body when you're doing yoga. I mean, one of the things that I kind of years ago, my girlfriend would laugh at me because, you know, I thought to myself, you know, yoga is, they call it, it's a triangle, you know, strength, balance, flexibility. That's the triangle of yoga. And what I noticed was anybody who practiced the parts of their personalities that were strongest were the parts of their practice that were strong. So you can kind of look at you and see. For instance, I'm flexible, right? And I'm strong, but I didn't have much balance. I struggle with balance because I was always a go hard or go home. You know, I'm 0 to 100. So I didn't have a lot of balance in my personality or the way I live my life. And I struggle, you know, and it was just funny. And my girlfriend, you know, she is balanced, she's disciplined, she's strong, but she's inflexible. You know, homegirl, you ain't going to get her, you know. So it was one of those things where, when I started talking to people, I would find the parallels between how they were and how they practiced. Wow. And I would say, okay, when I started strengthening my core and focusing on my core, my center, as Amadi said, from your chest down, almost down to your, you know, top of your knees, I found my balance. Because that's where your balance is. Your balance is right there in the middle. So when I started focusing on strengthening the middle of my body, the switch flipped, and I was able to balance myself. But I had to, and that, you know, also translated. And it was very quite interesting because I'm strong. You know, I can hold a pose, you know, but You ask me to balance on one leg, I'm frustrated. I'm huffing and puffing, I'm mad, because that's just not how I roll, but and that's also my personality. So I always try to tell people, if you find a place where you struggle on that mat, I promise you that's where you struggle in you, so you're able to find those parallels, and it's just amazing. But when you're able to strengthen those parts of you, that core, which is such a big part of your body, it's also a big part of who you are, so that's the strength.
Myeisha, you brought up the core. I learned about the core from Amadi.
The first episode.
So you brought, every time when you say something, we've been around each other too long because you bringing up stuff. See, the core, I didn't know the butt was in the core.
Yes.
Girl, yes. I learned about the core because I had no idea. I thought it stopped right at the waist. I had no idea.
I need to turn the light on. The sun went down.
Yeah, the sun going down over there.
The sun, I'm like, wait a minute, what happened? Everybody else,
you're the blackest thing in Arizona right now.
The sun, look, I need to find a light. The sun went down on me. I had my natural light. Well, we all right.
But when you said that, you reminded me when I learned about the core, because I had no idea that it went to the top of your knees, and that your butt was included, so that
your butt. I think you're obsessed with your butt.
Oh. It's not that, but
it's the muscles under there.
Black girls have problems with their butt. That is one of our things. It's and it holds a lot of fat, cellulite. That's a Black girl issue. Am I wrong, Myeisha?
No, you look.
I think it's a female issue.
Well, I don't know. All the females got what we got. Let me be straight.
I'm just saying the cellulite.
They don't.
75%.
They don't have what we have. I'm being straight. It's the truth. Most of us are born with extra adornments. And so with those adornments, it holds fat. It's a part of our body. Even with clothes don't fit me the same. Not saying that anybody's different. I'm talking about my body that I was given. So when you think of core and you think of all this, a Black woman always thinks about her butt because it's a part of us.
Well, there's muscles up under there, and those muscles are under all that cushion is muscle, and those muscles are part of your core. And right. I'm telling you, they are, you need to, that's why, a lot of people think about, Marty, squats, make your butt big. No, it's building those muscles, and that's strengthening part of your core is what those squats are doing. Yeah, it's helping to lift your butt.
But squat is building the muscles, and that's what lifts the butt. Oh, see, I'm learning more and more.
You got it.
So
I learned that from Marty too. She would have me squatting and I'd be mad about it. I'm like, my back hurting. Why am I squatting? Because I needed to build those muscles.
It all works together, I guess.
She had me doing all kinds of stuff. I'm like, why am I doing this if my back hurts? But there are all of these other muscles that you don't even know are there that are actually a part of your core. And your core is what protects your back. So your back hurts because your core is jacked up.
And but guess what else the core is for? The core is also the warehouse for breathing. That's where your diaphragm is. That's where your lungs are. Right. Also, like Myeisha said, that's where you stabilize and maintain balance. You know what I mean? So the core is extremely important. Also, we have a lot of hip injuries as we get older. The elderly fall.
Yep.
Even to the point where we get that commercial from the 80s. Help, I've fallen and I can't get up. That's because more than likely they were not, they didn't have strong balance. They didn't have balance. And the reason is probably because their butt muscles were weak.
Do that light again, Myeisha. You need that light.
Ta-da!
That's it right there.
Yeah, you look
great.
Showtime. Yeah, showtime. The core is amazing. I mean, golly, I'm learning so much. So, all right, we're at the, we're gonna roll out of here. So
yeah, because the sun set, I needed to find a light. The lamp is over there. This lamp, it's just a lot going on over here.
So we're gonna give you a last will and testament. Say something to the people. We in a trying, uncertain time. Your favorite president is gonna be removed. Talk to the people, give them some yogi advice.
Breathe.
I love it.
And sip your water.
Water, I love it.
Breathe. Stay on your mat, because that's the only place you can control. So
Breathe and do your mat. I see you, G. So you breathe.
stay on your mat. Breathe and stay on your mat and
get your
sip your water.
I love it. Those are great principles.
That's all I got.
I'm breathing every night trying to lose some weight. I am. So I love
You can do it.
I know I can do it. So D, got a twin, you got anything to say as we roll up out of here?
I just want to thank you so much, Myeisha, for joining us, taking the time and imparting so much
Thank you for having me.
knowledge around your story and around yoga and the connection with yoga and Black women, or lack thereof, and how you are going to fix that gap. And you know, I mean, you already know, but I just have to say this publicly, that I, you know, 500% support you.
Thank
And
you.
I mean, yeah, I mean, so the two of you actually do have a lot in common, because I'm like, all right, what you doing? All right, are we gonna meet today? Okay, I'm gonna walk you through it. You need me to do it?
For real.
All right, what time we gonna talk? I do this with both of you because I love you and I believe in your mission, and I see the effort that you both put forward in your passions, and I want to help. I want to support that as much as I can. So, you know, if I can't donate financially, I'm going to donate my time and my heart. So thank you for allowing me.
For it. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Thank you. And like I said, you're my fit model. So you all up in the business anyway. So
D, you know you're amazing. And I want to say flip-flops.
yes,
I am definitely, because you know that's my nickname for you. Tell me.
I know.
Why is
I
that?
call them flip-flops now. I've been calling them flip-flops since we spoke on the phone. So Myeisha, I really appreciate you. You really, I'm gonna go take yoga when I get back from. I'm going away but I'm gonna take a class again.
Tell Michelle you talk to me. I love her so much.
Yeah, I talk
with
to
her
a lot. We really talk a lot. That's my girl. We vibe a lot. So I'm gonna tell her that you were on, and we're gonna talk about you a little.
I love her.
Yeah.
I love her so much.
But I really appreciate you. You were great. Thanks for coming through. When you come to Baltimore, let's strike a pose.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I do.
Thank you for this shirt that you're sending me. I appreciate
Yes, Queen. Yes.
Thank
I love it. On the way. And one day I will have some mail stuff. If not from me, from someone associated with me.
Don't worry about me. I'm good. Don't worry about me. Don't do it. I'm sitting here.
One day you're gonna have something. She's trying to say she's gonna build her business so men can have some Yogini new.
And we want to see you strike a pose.
That's for real. That's what I want to see. For real. All right, G.
All right. Well, Myeisha, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us, and for all our viewers and listeners. If you've enjoyed this conversation, you can find the rest of our work at BlaKBoXXradio.com. That's BLAKBoXXradio.com. Please go there and subscribe so you don't miss a thing. You can also find us on Instagram and Facebook at BlaKBoX Radio, and find us on Twitter at BoXXBlack. That's BoXXBLAK.
All right. Well, Myeisha, be blessed.
Thank you.
Have a great night.
You guys, thank you for having me.
BoXXUp, and we're out. Deuces.
Take care.